Okay, hi everybody. Welcome back to English with Dr. Jim. I'm going to start a new playlist. This is a really important part of the way I teach. So I call it English functions, and whenever I indicate a function, I use the triangular brackets. So let me explain functions. So when I lived overseas, I was living in Japan. One day I bought some t-shirts and I wanted to return them, and I was disappointed and angry that they weren't what they said they were on the box. So the staff didn't speak English at all, and I was trying to be angry, and I was unable to be angry because I didn't know any angry words or phrases. Uh, all I could do was be sad, and I think the communication point was missed because the staff didn't understand that I was angry. Even if I raised my voice, they thought that I was sad, not angry. I wasn't able to communicate because I couldn't do that function. And sometimes a function uses words you already know in a different way. And I'll explain that as we go through the playlist on English functions. So think about functions as a goal that you're trying to achieve in English. Now, let me give you some examples of the functions that we're going to talk about. So thanking is a function. When someone gives you something, you want to say thank you. There are lots of different ways to do that. There's a very big thank you, and then there's very small thank yous, and there's other thank yous in between. Saying yes and no, making a big request or a small request, offering goes this way. When you're offering something to some people, words and phrases that we use. So here are some ideas: sympathizing, getting angry, complimenting someone, saying something nice. I like your shirt. There's a lot of different grammar ways to do it. But I want to give you some choices, some options about how to do it, because this is for me a much higher level language function, language feature, a skill set where you're in a situation, you want to achieve something. I want to negotiate. I want to say sorry. That's apologizing. I want to get angry. I want to sympathize. I want to say yes and no, but I want it to match the situation. I don't want to have a really big yes for something that's very small because it's a mismatch and the person who gave it to me will feel a little bit strange. As we go to the next slide, I think you'll understand a little bit about it. This entire playlist will be examining and exploring these English functions. Okay, some people call it pragmatics. The word doesn't really matter. The idea is I want to achieve a goal in English. How do I do that? And what language do I need to use? And many times it's words you already know in a different way. Okay, so I'm going to do two today. And the first one I want to talk about, let me move my thing over here so I don't surprise you. This is thanking. And when I do this, in many cases, I'm going to have formal and casual on the left-hand side with an arrow. And what I want you to understand with the formal and casual arrow is that there's formal phrases and casual phrases and other levels in between. And in your first language, you're a professional at formal and casual. And some of my students can only do formal or can only do casual because they learned it in a textbook. And that's a good first step. But as you begin to communicate, you can have formal and casual, and then you can put pieces in between and think about it as you can only communicate in black and white, so it has no color, no interest, or you can start to communicate in color. So black and white is kind of boring. Color is rich and interesting and deep and strong communication. So think about that idea that we don't always want to communicate in black and white. We want to have more ability to communicate on a wider bandwidth, more information included in our communication. So I'm going to show you the entire slide and then I'm going to explain it so we can work on it together. Okay, so here we go. So here we are with thanking. Whoops, sorry about that. Let's try it here. Okay, so what I want to show you about thanking is there are formal thank you words and there are casual thank you words. Now, it doesn't mean that I use these every day, but it means you may experience them. And again, this is life in Canada. Different countries have a different style. But let's talk a little bit about, for instance, thank you very much or thank you so much. I don't say thank you so much. It's not my style. But I do say thank you very much for a big thank you. Let's say someone gives you $100,000. Someone gives you a car. Someone gives you a new job. Someone drives you 150 or 200 kilometers to the airport and they don't ask for money. Thank you very much is a big thank you. Thank you so much is a big thank you. Please remember, it's not just about the words, it's also about your tone. Because if you say thank you very much, and your eye contact is bad and your tone goes down, they might not understand that you're thanking them. They might actually take it as the opposite. So of course, tone and eye contact and body style is important. But what I want to show you is there are different words. You already know the words, but are you using them in the right way? So think about a very big thank you, formal thank you, maybe your supervisor at work. At the bottom, maybe your friends and you're drinking beer at the bar. You can use different levels of thank you. So if I have a big thank you, I might say thank you very much. If I have a little bit down, not as big, I might say thank you. And then I might say thanks a lot. It's kind of middle and it's safe. I might say thanks a lot. And then if I take the a lot away, it's just thanks. And then even one step below that, and this is very common at restaurants, is the staff will often say cheers. And I learned from having friends from the UK, they say ta. Ta is thank you in the UK. I didn't realize that till I lived, my roommate was from the UK. So the teaching point for this is you can have a big thank you when you want to use it, and you can have a small thank you when you need a small thank you. And if you give a really big thank you, so for instance, if someone lends you their pencil and you say, oh, thank you very much for a pencil, it's too much. And it makes them feel strange, like you don't communicate really well. So it makes me feel strange that you give me a really big thank you for a very small reason. So the idea is to separate the words into big and small. And so you have a little bit more control over what you want to communicate, your level of communication. You can communicate a formal or a big thank you or a small thank you or an in-between thank you. And this is professional in your first language. You can do this very easily in your first language. Can you do it in English? Can you match your level of thank you in this case? Can you match your level of thank you to the situation that you need? This is really challenging. But once again, it's not new words. It's words you already know, except for maybe ta and cheers. It's words you already know. Are you using them in the right way? Now, here's something that I want you to think about, because this is something that I've learned. So let me get rid of this guy. Let me add something else. Have you ever noticed this? Is this true in your first language, that the big ones tend to be long and the short ones or small, the small thank you tends to be shorter? Is it the same in your first language? Because I know in my second language, in Japanese, the biggest thank you is very long and the smallest thank you is very short. Biggest thank you, 本当にありがとうございました。ありがとうございました。Domo. Domo is a really super, even below that, is a super low level thank you. We don't need the big long one every time, but sometimes we do. Maybe it's your boss or your parents or your teacher at school or your wife's parents or your boyfriend's sister or father who's really nice to you and they give you something nice. Maybe you need to have a big thank you. But to your students at school or your friends while you're drinking or your little brother, you need to choose the situation and you need to match your English so that it matches what you're trying to communicate in your heart. Okay, that's my goal, is to help you communicate what's in your heart. So that's an interesting idea that many times, I don't know in your first language, many times the big ones are long. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks. Ta. It gets usually gets shorter. So maybe that will help you to understand the different levels. Okay, so this is thanking people. Again, words you know. All you're doing is putting them in an order so you can feel in your heart what you want to communicate, and you can do that successfully. So that's what I'm trying to help you do. Okay, so let's take those guys away. So that's thanking. That's the first feature. That's the first function that I wanted to talk about, because it's something that you need in English, and it's something where I think sometimes the communication isn't always clear. I want you to be able to communicate very clearly what's in your heart. So here's the second one, and the video will finish. The second function is this one. Actually, I'm going to move this over so that we go back to this formal idea. Okay, so here we are. with formal and casual, again, I'll keep this consistent so you can always see the top is a big one. The lower ones are smaller ones. The top is a formal situation. It's a big one. And the lower ones are casual, small situations. So let's look at a new function. Remember the last one was saying thank you. This one's saying yes and no. Okay, so let's think again about a situation where we have a big thank you, sorry, a big yes and a big no, or a small yes, a small no. And you need to decide. Maybe it's a formal situation. You're talking to your boss or your grandmother or your grandmother's friend, or you're talking to your friends at the bar. You're talking to your little brother. You're talking to your students. You're talking to someone who's a lower level than you. Or if you're talking to a customer at work, then you'll give them respect by talking up to them. Plus, if you're very polite, many times it means they're nice back to you. And if you're working in a restaurant in Canada and you get a tip, if you're very polite, the tip is more. So it actually could be money in your pocket. So again, it's not new words. Yes, I can. Yes, I do. Yes, she will. Yes, he does. We say each word clearly and we separate them out. So for example, yes, I can. Can you help me do this activity? Yes, I can is very formal. It's a really big yes. Okay. Now, if it's to your friend, then you don't need to say I can. You can just say yes. But even with your friend, yes sounds a little bit formal. And this is something that you've heard a lot, especially if you watch movies. Yup, uh-huh, and yeah. Yep, yep, yep. And it usually includes the gesture with your head. Yep, yep, uh-huh, 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 yeah, 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 is a super casual yes. I don't say yes when someone hands me, can I borrow your pen? Here. Yes, yes, you can. No. Yep, here you are. Yep, yep, uh-huh, pen? Yep, uh-huh, 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 yep, yep, here you are. Super casual and fast. And you need to choose what the yes level is because only you know. Are you saying yes to your boss? Are you saying yes to your younger brother? Are you saying yes to your best friend? Are you saying yes to your customer? Yes, I can. Yes, you can. And then a little bit less formal. Yes. Yes is nice. But with my family, yep. Uh-huh. Yeah, yep. Yep. Uh-huh. Yep. Yeah. And it sounds really comfortable for a low level thank you or yes. Now, if you have someone who always says, yes, yes, I can, yes, yes, I can, it feels like they're really formal all the time. And the teaching point for you is, can you separate formal yes and casual yes? Can you match the situation really clearly? Because in your first language, you probably can. Now, what you'll notice is in this case that yes is a little bit, yes, I can, and yep. Once again, the nice formal one is a little bit longer and the casual one is a little bit shorter. Okay, so think about that when you're saying yes or agreeing to people about what level of yes are you using? Is it always formal or is it casual? All right, so let's go over to no. So maybe you'll say, no, she does not. No, I do not. Ooh, careful, because not is formal. It's powerful if you separate out the word not. That's powerful. Okay, but then a little bit step down would be no, she doesn't. No, he doesn't. No, I can't. No, he won't. No, he will not. That's powerful. Step down, a little bit less formal. No, she doesn't. And then no. And then down here is super casual. Nope. Nah. Nah. Nope. Nope. And you can see the gesture. Nope. Nah. Nah. Nope. Nope. So that's super casual saying no. And over here, super casual saying yes. So can you use it? That's great. When someone uses it with you, can you understand the communication point? If you're having drinks at the bar with your friend and you say, yes, I can, it sounds too formal. Because in that case, your friends are probably saying, yep, yeah, 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 yep, yep, uh-huh, uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-uh. Please be careful, it needs to match. Okay? So in this teaching point, it's using words that you already know to communicate more clearly what's in your heart so that you can communicate directly with what you're feeling. And in your first language, you're very good at this, separating out yes and no. And this is a little bit of information to help you in English because these are not new words. Well, maybe yup and uh-huh, but you've definitely heard them if you've had any conversation or if you've heard conversations in English between native speakers. Yep, uh-huh, yeah, yeah, uh-huh, yes, yes, no, no, nope, nope, nope. This is super fast casual, right? And super fast formal. And you can decide, only you can decide. So these are some helpful tips. I hope it's helpful separating out so you can communicate directly what's in your heart. Now, if you want to try, go to Vocaroo, try these speaking activities. The first 3 people who put the link to Vocaroo, I'll respond directly. I always will. I'll respond directly in the comments with feedback directly about your pronunciation and what it sounds like, particularly if you're trying to communicate yup and uh-huh and uh-uh. Uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-huh, uh-uh, uh-uh is over here. Uh-huh goes like this. Uh-uh goes like this. Okay, good luck. Please keep fighting. English is not a short time plan. English is a long time plan. Now keep following this playlist and I'll go through some more functions to help you communicate more clearly in English so you can communicate what's in your heart. Good job. Keep fighting. Thank you.